Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Amazing quote this morning in the Morning Five Planner. Quote submitted by Vanjie Torres, who Vanjie's been a longtime member of the hashtag Rise and Grind community. And so the quote says this. It says, "In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened." In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Like, I love this quote. And, when you look it up, you think, right? Like, immediately my head goes to, COVID and all of the things that happened around that, right? It wasn't just a year that was so improbable. It was a couple of years that was so improbable. But when you look it up, this quote actually came from Vin Scully, who was a baseball player back in 1988. 1988, right? So in 1988, this man says, in a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Now, he was referring to his team and some things that happened, on the baseball side. But the way that hit me this morning, as Vanjie submitted that quote, and I'm so grateful for, the way that hit me this morning is that there are so many stories that we tell ourselves. And we tell ourselves that what we're going through is so unique, never before, all these things, right? Like you hear, back in my day, things were this way, or, you guys have no idea how hard we had it, or whatever. You hear the old timers talking about, I'm an old timer now, so I'm one of those guys. So you hear us talking about, walking uphill in the snow both ways, those types of things. But the reality is, this whole journey, this story of life is filled with these improbable seasons, improbable times, improbable moments, and yet the impossible continues to happen. And I don't know about you, but for me, it's an inspiring thought, right? To know that for decades, on centuries, on thousands of years, that which most or many thought was impossible continues to happen. Continues to happen in my life, continues to happen in your life, continues to happen in the lives of people all over this planet. And to me, that is a message of hope, that no matter how improbable your situation might be, the impossible can happen for you too. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind, the #1 morning show in the world filled with motivation, education, and inspiration. I am your host, Glenn Lundy, husband to 1, father to 8, and the founder of the 800% Club, the club designed to help you unlock your full potential. Each episode is filled with celebrity interviews, inspiring conversations, and the strategies you need to get ahead in your career and your life. So grab your pen and turn up the volume, because it's time to rise and grind. Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Friday. That's right, today is Friday. For some reason, this camera will not focus all of a sudden. It's driving me crazy. But today is Friday, June 23rd, 2023. Friday, June 23rd, 2023. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Friday, June 23rd, 2023. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, we are in a series this week called Stories Matter. Stories Matter. And we are coming off of last week, we had the Stories Matter Summit right here in my offices here in headquarters in Lexington, Kentucky. So we brought out a bunch of owners and general managers, leaders from car dealerships all over United States and Canada. And we brought them all together and we talked about this subject of stories matters, right? And so we had different speakers that came in and poured in and talked about these different stories. We had these different experiences that were super cool, right? A combination of education and motivation and inspiration, right? We had a derby party out at my house that was filled with all kinds of memorable stories and beautiful people. And we had live music and a DJ. We rented out a skating rink that was phenomenal. We got to rent out the skating rink. We had Darian Sanders, the guy from Broadway. We had him come in and sing for all my peeps, which was amazing. We had a big fireworks show while everybody was here, right? Like the whole time we're just trying to create memories and stories that we can share with one another and that we could use to inspire, that we could use to educate, that we could use to motivate, to do what we do, right? We played laser tag. We listened to multiple multi-million dollar business owners. It was just phenomenal. We even brought in Saul Blinkoff. This guy, Saul Blinkoff, a Disney animator who just told incredible stories, and the way that he weaved it all together was fascinating. Here's just a short little clip.
I walk into a sign, under a sign that says Artist Entrance at the Disney MGM Studios. Today it's called the Disney Hollywood Studios. That's how you know how old I am, if you know if it's MGM or Hollywood Studios. I walk into a room a little bit bigger than this, wooden animation desk in the corner with my name on it. Saul Blinkoff, kid from New York. Let me tell you something. Do not think that you're hearing a story right now of a really talented artist that got his dream of working at Disney. That is not what this is. This is a story of the worst artist in the school getting his dream.
Like, he is and tells this story of something that was so improbable, and then it happened. It was impossible, but it happened. And so coming off of that amazing week that we had here, the ability to network and connect and really share these stories with just all these people that I love, I thought it was important that we take some time here on #Rise and Grind, share with you some of the takeaways from that particular event, share with you some of the stories, and hopefully do the same for you, right? Inspire you, motivate you, educate you on how these stories matter. Because ultimately there are an infinite amount of stories out there, but there's only really 4 types of stories overall. There's the stories that we've been told, the stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that we tell others, and then there's the stories that others tell about us. And understanding how each of these stories play a role in our overall identity, the way that we move in this thing called life, just goes to show you how important these stories are. Stories absolutely matter.
Once upon a time, there was a person coming to a new village, relocating, and he was wondering if he would like it there. So he went to a Zen master and asked, "Do you think I will like it in this village? Are the people nice?" The master asked back, "How were the people in the town where you came from?" "They were nasty and greedy. They were angry and lived for cheating and stealing," said the newcomer. "Those are exactly the type of people we have in this village," said the master. A day later, another newcomer to the village visited the master and asked the same question. To which the master asked, "How were the people in the town where you come from?" "They were sweet and lived in harmony. They cared for one another and for the land. They respected each other, and they were seekers of spirit," he replied. "Well, those are exactly the type of people we have in this village," said the master. You see, in life, in your life, whatever you see in the world will see in you. See hope, see good, see love, and the world will see the same in you. But if you only see the nasty and greedy part of people, that is what they will see in you. So be good to the world, and the world will be good to you. Give love to the world, and the world will give love to you. This is Dare to Do Motivation Stories. Thanks for watching, and stay blessed.
Now you know what we gotta do on that note. I love how a powerful short story can make such a difference. It's so incredible. For those of you that know, those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. All right, I ain't messing with you today. Hit that share button. All right, those of you that are over there on Facebook, share it out. My Clubhouse folks, you know what to do. Hit that share button at the bottom of the screen. Also on Facebook, tag some friends, invite them in, tell them to come join us right here on hashtag Rise and Grind, episode 1229. Unbelievable. Actually in Lexington today for the show. Gonna be doing some prep over the weekend, running a half marathon in DC on Sunday. Our whole family's gonna be there. I'm super excited. So share it out, tag a friend, and then also this is the part of the show where I need you to say good morning to me, and I'm going to say good morning to you, whether you're watching live or there. Fixed Ops Marketing. What up? Vicky Smith is in the building. Emily Gowler, my girl, Miss Emily, in the building. Robin Price is up in here today. Lisa Bourne, glad you're here. Rick Tamburino doing his jarhead stuff this morning. Maria, what's up, Maria Linda? Glad you're here. Tom Popelka's in the building. Daryl Walker, who I always want to call Darrell for some reason, is up in here this morning. Pastor Jeff Moffitt, glad you're here. Milt Whiteside, Stephanie Toadvine, what up, Stephanie? Ramon Ray, what's up, Glenn? Ramon Ray is killing stages all over the world right now. So proud of that guy. Marianne Upson is in the building. Liza Myers-Borges, go after it in your first half marathon. I'm going after the finish line, Liza. That's the only thing I'm going after. I'm going after the finish line. They said, Emma Primacino. I just spent the last few days at the Virginia Automobile Dealer Association event in Greenbrier, and got to see Liza and her husband Pete, and her beautiful children and her parents. And we just watch her move in her zone of genius, man. It was phenomenal, bro. It was phenomenal. I'm telling you, that woman is a special human. She comes from a very special family. It was fun to watch. Don Sankey, glad you're here this morning. Stephanie's already at the office. Nice. Bella Rigby, Nathaniel Banks, Valerie Oakley, Amy Myers. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Jacqueline Underwood, good morning. Rich Pintrick, Melvin Rodriguez, good morning, good morning. West Storm, Donna Maria. What's up, Patty Frudenberg? I'm so glad you're here this morning. Tabitha Walls is in the building as well. My guy Vince and Yin, man, they bring it. For those of you that don't listen over on Clubhouse before this show, you're crazy. You're missing out, man. We got such incredible moderators in that Clubhouse space. Like here, you just get me. That's how you get. You get me, you get a little dose of Heather, right? You get a little video here, a little video there. But over on Clubhouse, dude, it's like all the meat and potatoes over there. Rebecca, good morning. Don Sankey, glad you're here. Again, my guy, Don Sankey. Natasha in the building. Jackie's here. E is here. I see Maria. I already said hi to her. I'm going to say hi to her twice. I see Stars, Tina. Renee is in the building. Kim's in the building. Miranda's in the building. Tom's in the building. A bunch of y'all folks are in the building. Hey, speaking of being in the building, Monday, June 26th. Monday, June 26th, just a few days from now. I got to look at that too. I'm flying back that morning in theory. But Monday, June 26th, we're going to do an AI Matters workshop right here in Lexington, Kentucky. It's a free workshop. You can sign up at glenlundy.com/AI, glenlundy.com/AI. If you would like to come join us, it's 7 p.m. that night. Just go to glenlundy.com/AI. We're going to break down the 13 AI tools that you can use and apply in your life and in your business. I'll show you how to use all those. Network with other business owners. Like it's just fun, man. Drink some free water, eat some chips if you want, if you're hungry. Come by. It's going to be cool. I would love to have you. All right. Hey, with that said, today is also Fitness Friday. On Fridays, we always get a fitness tip from my friend Heather Parody before we dive into the full scheme of the show. And so Heather has a little fitness tip for us, and then I'll be back in just a few. Heather, what do you got for him today?
Oh man, I'm just tired. I need to get motivated. Call one of those rise and grind people. Oh, which one have I not called yet? Oh, I know. Hey, Don!
Good morning, Heather. Just about to walk into the gym. What's up?
Hey man, I'm just not feeling it today. I'm not feeling it today.
What do you mean you don't want to work out? Waking up and walking through that door? That's the hardest part of the workout. That's the hardest part of the day. And when you get the hardest part of the day out of the way early, the rest of the day doesn't stand a chance. This place right here, I'm responsible for everything in it, including me. That's accountability. Just like running. When you're out on the streets, pounding the pavement, you're responsible for the steps. You're responsible for the pace. In here, on the road, the pace is yours. It doesn't have to be world-breaking, record-breaking. It just has to be a pace. Don't walk in here trying to put every plate on the bar, put the pin at the bottom of every stack. It's just like running. You don't have to break records. You don't have to be a 4-minute mile. You just got to either come in here and do it or get out on the streets and do it. That's what it's all about. I know some days are going to be hard. Some days you're going to groan. Some days you're going to smile. All over the spectrum with this stuff. Thing is you're moving faster than the person on the couch. You're working harder than the person on the couch. Last piece, you got to have some music. You got to have some inspirational stuff in your ears. You should try this thing called #Rise and Grind. It's a great show. It's Monday through Friday. It's educational, motivational, and inspirational. Pump yourself up. You're ready for the weekend. Don't stop on weekends. Take a day off if you need to, but always keep going. Bonus, you want to feel good about yourself? Put a smile on somebody else's face.
Thank you, Don.
Go get you some today, Heather.
A little bit sweaty. That's okay. All right, who's had a chance to hear me speak at an 800? Show of hands, mostly everybody. A little bit sweaty, a little bit sweaty. That's okay. All right, who's had a chance to hear me? A little bit sweaty, a little bit sweaty. That's okay. All right, who's had a chance to hear me speak at an 800? Show of hands, show of hands. Mostly everybody. Who remembers the first time I spoke at an 800? I'll give you a hint. It starts with an A, rhymes with Arizona. Arizona? Bonus points if you remember what I spoke about in Arizona.
Family history, your uncle, your grandfather, Aunt Edna.
Yeah, I mean, Aunt Edna's made up, but yes, bonus points, bonus points. Get this man a Flex Dealer keychain. Oh, it happened immediately. Holy balls. Well, since you know me, you know I say balls a lot. Don't read too much into it, okay? Also, you know that I usually pull air out and I stand on it, but look, we got this, so I'm just gonna stand up here. That way the voice travels a little bit further. You probably also know that you need to buckle up because I might take you out to the cosmos. I might take you to my family history. We might talk a little World War II. We might talk about how I fled from socialism. I mean, Canada. Or I might share a story with you about a runner from Tanzania. Now, I have 4 sisters. I've learned you do not ask a woman her age. But if I had to say show of hands who was alive in 1968, Bob? Okay, Bob alive in 1968. We were just talking about this. So I'm 82, so I know that's a baby to some of you. I know that's a little bit older. I know, hey, to the babes in the room, you know, they're looking at the gray hair, seeing the beard, right? I'm the first year of the millennial, right? You remember how much talking we did in this industry about millennials? How they don't want to work, all those sorts of things. I'm the first year of the millennial, 82. I'm old enough to know that when I heard the MASH theme song on TV, it was time for bed. But I can still get down with like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I'm saying? Right? The MASH theme song? Okay. So, I want to share with you a story because this is the What Matters Summit. Story. And you guys know I like to share stories. I want to bring you all the way to Tanzania, 1968. Does anybody know what significant event happened in 1968 in Mexico City? Starts with O, rhymes with Olympics. The Olympics, yes. The 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City. But I want to talk to you about a Tanzanian runner named John Stephen Akwari. John Stephen Akwari. John Stephen Akwari was a marathon runner. And runners in the room, I know we've at least one, Heather, okay. So all of us are lazy pieces of crap, got it, it's fine, I'm with you. The only time you see me running is when Red Baron Pizza's on sale at Costco. As you can imagine, training for the Olympics, you run, and you run, and you run some more. And when you think you're done running, and when you think that the blisters on your feet are going to keep you from running, what do you do, Liza? You keep running. And this is what he did. This is what you do when you train for running a marathon in the Olympics. So that's what he did. Crack of dawn, run. Midday, run. Evening, run. Well, as the Olympics approach, just a few weeks out, him and his team fly to Mexico City. And he does a little bit of training there, as you would. And they did not account for something. There was an unforeseen circumstances. Make sure you pay attention. Okay. The climate was different. The altitude was different. The air pressure was different. Do any of those things have bearings on your ability to run? So marathon day comes along, they line up, and off they go. Now, I don't know the exact distance. Does anybody know how far a marathon is? How many? 26.2. 26.2 miles, thank
Dude,
you.
it's ridiculous. It's from my house to Joel's soccer field, back to my house, and halfway back to Joel's soccer field.
Easy on the passion there, Lundy.
It's so far, dude.
Well, they take off, and in a jockeying for position, John Stephen Aquari is knocked to the ground. He dislocates his knee and his shoulder. Now, I don't know about you, but in this moment, if I'm John Stephen Aquari and we had to shift places, I'm like, I'm out. Have every excuse to not do a thing, right? I'm in the corner, naked, in fetal position, crying like a baby. Naked because, like, when you're in that much pain, why do you need the extra resistance? Right? No, just me? Okay. I'll see myself out. The runners take off without him. The dude on the motorcycle with the camera guy that goes backwards, right? They're gone. They're following the runners, right? Because who are they paying attention to? The person that's in the very front, because that's exciting. So they leave John on the ground, these crazy people, and he's sitting on the ground. Right? Anybody see that Family Guy where this is what he's doing. He's like the wacky, wavy, inflatable, flailing arm tube man that we all have on our lives. He's got a dislocated arm, shoulder, right? He has every excuse to not finish the marathon, to throw in the towel and just say, screw it. And nobody's going to dog on him, right? The media would even be like, we don't blame him. He's like half a body. Instead, after laying there for hours in pain, he takes his shirt off and makes a makeshift sling and jams his knee back into position and hobbles his way through the race. By the time he gets to the stadium, they're packing up. The medal ceremony's already been had, right? The medalists have already taken the podium. Media's packing up. Some dudes there rapping, you know. People are starting to leave. And out of nowhere, they hear, oh, from the crowd. And everyone's looking around. And 2.5 hours after everything's done, John Stephen Aquari comes into that stadium. And he finishes a full lap, because that's what's required to finish the race. And he crosses what was supposed to be the finish line, but they had already packed it up. You can actually look this up on YouTube, just for all you fact checkers out there. And when interviewed, right, the media's like, you crazy fool, like, what are you doing? Where'd you come from? Why did you even bother, okay, pay attention. Why did you even bother finishing the race? You had every excuse in the book to gracefully give up. You know what he said? My country did not send me 5,000 miles to start the race. They sent me 5,000 miles to finish it. Did he finish it with grace? No, he looked like a crazy hobbling in, like, you know, could have been in a wheelchair, could have had every facility given to him, given his circumstances. But what did he have? He had extreme ownership, resilience, and determination to do whatever it takes to make his country proud. But guess what? John Stephen Aquari has something that every single one of us have. Drive. More drive than we give ourselves credit for, right? Resilience, but maybe it's never been tested. Faculties, a brain, air in our lungs. Each of us have everything we need to finish what we start. But each day, no matter how much preparation we do, because, I mean, he's an Olympian. He did a lot of preparation. There will always be unforeseen circumstances, won't there? You heard Glenn talk about it earlier. There's a lot of unknowns. We're faced with a ton of unknowns. Maybe things are great financially, and then one of your best people says, you know what, I'm checked out and I don't want to be here anymore. You go, oh.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Michael Cirillo shared that story and shared from that stage last week, and his delivery is he's always funny, he's always insightful, he's always all of those things. But what I loved most is Michael has this ability to connect these stories, not from an external place, but from an internal place, right? He always takes us on a journey inside. It's more of a spiritual experience whenever he shares. It's not so much the note taking. It's not so much, there's no PowerPoint. There's no slide deck for me to take home. It's just a feeling. This intuitive feeling that, hey, there's something in this story that resonates with me. And see, this is why stories really matter. Stories matter because they take us to an esoteric place. Stories have the ability to take us out of this realm of the physical, which ultimately is not what makes you who you are, and takes us to the realm of impossible. The realm where impossible things happen all the time. See, this is why stories matter. The stories we've been told, stories we tell ourselves, the stories we tell others, and the stories others tell about us. All of these stories matter. So listen, I've had a lot of fun with you this week. I hope that you enjoyed coming in kind of behind the scenes and being able to experience our first ever event here in my new offices. I hope you enjoyed being able to come behind the scenes and take some of that away. I do hope that you have a few notes. I do hope that there are some things that you'll execute and apply in your life. But mostly, my hope from this week was that through all the storytelling, that you would walk away into this weekend knowing that not just stories matter, but your story matters. And it's so important that you share your story, that you tell your story, not from a place of the flesh, not from a place of ego, not from a selfish place, but ultimately to be able to inspire and connect with others on a spiritual level, on an improbable level. Because see, you, my friend, are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God gave you this gift, this ability to create. And through that gift, you're creating the story that is your life. And that story needs to be one of, I shouldn't say needs to be. For me, I want that story to be one of a child of God that became the absolute best version of himself that he could possibly be, so that ultimately he could make a powerful and positive impact in the lives of others. Best version, not average version, not a little bit below average, not a little bit above average, but the absolute best version. Because when we step into that light, the best versions of ourselves that we can possibly be, it creates stories that last for generations and generations and generations and generations. Stories matter, and so do you. All right, my friends, I love you. I'm going to go hang out on Clubhouse for a little bit this morning, then we'll go for a decent run in a little bit of rain, I believe. A little bit of rain is good, though. When it's like 65, a little bit of rain, I'm like, I can do this. It's like a ton of rain, I don't want to do this. Cold and rain, I don't want to do that. But 65 and a little bit of rain, I'm going to head over to Clubhouse. We're going to hang out. You can join me over there if you'd like. Otherwise, I'll see you on Monday morning, 5:30 a.m. We'll do it all over again. Hashtag Rise and Grind. Have an incredible day. See you.
That I know in the dark of the night, I'll be all right. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. The sun will arise. A sea of messages overtaking what I know. A war is a whisper, and it's coming for my soul. In the dark of the night, I can see the light. The sun will arise. 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 When I was broken, you came and set me free. I was searching for someone to fight for me. I'll remember it's your light that shines on me. I won't be afraid, I will look to the light. I will not be shaken, I know it will be alright. 'Cause you're with me, I know that the sun will rise.